You know, I always had this topic in my head and always wanted to do a deeper dive of making a video, but I just had very hesitant thoughts regarding this topic. And with the recent news of Bobby Shmurda being on tour just for that to be canceled. Side note, did anybody even know this man was going on tour prior before it being canceled? Please let me know. Youngboy literally announced his tour a couple days ago, which I'll be going to, by the way. And I'm over here talking about Bobby Shmurda tickets. I'm praying to God that none of y'all anticipated for Bobby Shmurda in 2025. Theory I had in mind for a while after seeing recent events in rap, and that theory is that snitching is not that big of a deal. And I'd even go to say that it doesn't really matter in rap if you snitch or not.
Fool this man!
Hey, I see what the fuck.
What's up, everyone? This is Energies, and honestly don't know what the reception be for this video. Some of y'all may agree, some of y'all might not agree. Some of y'all might be commenting before even watching the video itself. But one thing I do know is being quote unquote real clearly doesn't mean a damn thing in rap as it once was, because Bobby Shmurda is literally a prime example of that. So basically you could say this is like a second part to my separating art from artist video somewhat. And I'm not so sure when this will drop, before the big project or afterwards. But if this drops before the big project, most likely, here's a snippet of that. Was a song with Lil Mabu, and it was something to say the least.
You can't say the word, I'ma say it for him. You're not the biggest, I'm bigger. You just a broke little nigga. And I'm young, and I'm richer.
I don't know what type of prime King Batch bar was that, but to go from Kanye to Lil Mabu, before the certified trappers, the internet warriors, the YNs, whatever y'all want to be classified nowadays, sending me all types of threats in my comments. Let's be realistic, y'all probably already did that before even watching the video. Y'all just based it off my appearance and the title alone, and that's all y'all needed. If y'all been keeping up with Bobby Shmurda, trust me, a good chunk of you haven't. But anyway, apparently he had a whole tour lined up that should have been happening by now by the time of this recording. But due to little to barely any promotion at all outside of his main page, nobody bought tickets. And it got so bad to the point where only less than 10 people per show bought tickets, which led up to the cancellation before the tour even started. Which it don't take anybody with a working brain to know that is terrible in many ways, especially for the people who actually bought tickets for this man, because look at these prices. Let me give y'all a little perspective on why the ticket prices alone is one of the reasons why the tour got canceled. Like, I know I'm bidding saying that the tickets are the reason why nobody went, but that could be one of the reasons why, for real. But let me give y'all this mini story on why that is bad. Most of y'all might not know this, but I went to my first ever concert a couple months ago in March. And that concert in question was the Side Baby Resurrection Tour, and Che was the opener for the show in Philly. Hey, since we're on the topic of Side Baby, I got a question. Is it not ridiculous to say that I contributed to Side Baby going on tour? Think about it, think about it, think about it. I said in my Side Baby Fake Fans video that he should go on tour after whenever he drops an album. And this was before Saheem coming out, maybe like a week or two prior.
Flashback.
He does drop a project this year. It is possible for him to have a song off of it or a single beforehand that goes crazy viral, like Lost in My Feelings, for example. But who knows? But we won't know till he drops. If he does drop, that is. Exactly that. Like a month or two after Saheem dropped, he announced the tour. I'm just saying, I played a role in this Side Baby rollout side note. But all jokes aside though, y'all want to know how much I paid for that concert? Yeah, it could be because of the pre-sale, but I still paid, and I bullshit you not when I say this, $40 for Side Baby and Che. Now let's compare $40 again for Side Baby and Che to this for Bobby Shmurda. And mind you, this is a screenshot of a ticket price for one of the shows Bobby Shmurda is having, well, was having, before the whole thing got scrapped. And I didn't catch it. One of my friends did, so shout out to him. All I'm gonna say is, if you're seeing Bobby Shmurda in 2025 headlining his own tour, you need a damn financial advisor or something, because I don't know what else to tell you. that money is not going in the right places. But what does Bobby Shmurda flopping got to do with flopping in question, you might ask? Well, we're about to get into that, but we got to do a brief summary on what led up to him flopping. As most of us know, Bobby Shmurda got locked up during the peak of his career due to the whole GS9 RICO, right? But the main two artists in the GS9 group, him and Rowdy Rebel, got 7 years in prison, so they can never really capitalize off the motion that Computers and Hot Nigga was getting at the time. But surprisingly, a good amount of people were actually interested enough knowing what'll happen when Bobby Shmurda gets out due to these two songs, and also him having a verse on 6ix9ine's song Stupid while in jail, when 6ix9ine was the hottest thing out in 2018. I know that is crazy to say nowadays, but we're not going to discredit his 2018 run. So clearly the rap space ain't forget about him, plus the time he's doing for not only him, but doing more time for Rowdy Rebel. And even when Rowdy Rebel got out, it's not like he took over the rap game or anything, but he had a little bit of motion to his name. From what I've seen, the songs that he did drop when he was first coming out, they were well received, doing good numbers. But I definitely can't say the same for Bobby, because as soon as he got out, it's not like he dropped instantly started dropping, but people were still anticipating on what he was doing. And then after all that time he did, because you know, you would think he has some stuff to get out of his chest for doing 7 years plus some extra time for his mans. And like I said, his man's Rowdy Rebel, even though they're not the biggest rappers out, people were still talking about them. And plus Rowdy Rebel even landed a YSL feature on that collective tape when it mattered at the time. So clearly they still got the industry behind them years later. But when he finally decided to drop a song 7 months later after being released called No Time for Sleep, which although it did do well stream wise, the song was realistically shitty. Like, I don't know if this is because I'm just now hearing it years later, but it can't be that. You gotta push the context to the side of this being a first day out track and just listen to this shit.
I got a chopper with a stand now. I put the chopper with a stand now. I ain't playing
shit, because there's no way, and the song is 6 minutes, there's no way people are listening to the whole thing. And it gets no better than that, because every song that he would drop afterwards would not live up to fans' expectations. I don't know what they was expecting, but it definitely didn't live up to expectations at all. And him doing everything but his job prior to No Time for Sleep, rather it be being an IG model while doing zesty dances, and on top of that, no album coming out during this momentum, which again, he did do 7 years in his defense, so I don't expect him to instantly come out that jail cell and start rapping his ass off. But with how fast rap is moving as a genre, there's at least 2 artists per month coming out the woodworks and blowing up. And with all the stuff I mentioned prior, Bobby don't have the fan base where he could just sit on his ass and wait. And by the time he did drop an album a year later, might I add, the motion already died down. People stopped caring. And with him dropping songs like Hoochie Daddy, yes, I am being serious, that is the song name, and it kind of cranks in my opinion.
But the Hoochie Daddy, who that, Hoochie Daddy. Put that bitch in the coupe and Cali. Nation to act like she shoot the ratty. Then she wanna move to Perry. Then she wanna boo the man.
But the general consensus are not listening to an album worth full of songs like Hoochie Daddy. I'm being real. And the fact that I'm just now knowing that this album dropped and it came out in 2022, that shows how much promotion he had after the fact that he got out. And with the elephant in the room being him selling 10 tickets per city for the tour, which again, did anybody even know that he was going on tour prior to it being canceled? It's a genuine question. I genuinely did not know. Not like I had any plans on tapping in, but still, I'm genuinely curious. This whole thing made me sit back and really put in thought about this whole snitching topic. He did all that time, 7 years to be exact, wasted just to come back in 2021. And then after that whole thing, nobody cares about his music, as we see compared to people who have snitching allegations, who is doing way better than Bobby Shmurda currently. And the first person that came to my mind during this topic is Gunna. The whole YSL trial era was definitely something to say the least, which I'm not going to cover because I'd literally be here all day. It's never been a true answer if Gunna snitched or not in a general sense. On one hand, you got people denying the fact that he didn't, but also he did cooperate, allegedly confirmed by YSL, that is a gang, which lead to 95% of the population jumping to the conclusion that he snitched. As soon as that video of him confirming that YSL gang came out, you would think that shunned down his career. And as much as people tried to do that, that backfired immediately. I'd even go to say his career got bigger because as soon as he dropped A Gift and a Curse, Fuck You Mean alone got 1 billion streams. A Gunna song hitting 1 billion streams after the fact that he snitched. What other rapper is doing that? And even with Young Thug surprise dropping, quote unquote, business is business with all the mainstream merchants.
I'm dropping this this surprise album on the same day Buddy dropped his album. That shit coming up soon. I need a verse from you. If you feel like replying, if you feel like you want to reply to what that nigga saying or something, man, don't do it. Drop it on my album. I'm dropping a surprise album on the same day that fuck nigga dropped.
It did not surpass that one song alone. And I'm not gonna lie, business is business. It's about to be ironic what I'm about to say, but boy, slow down. And to follow up with 101, a year later after the fact that he allegedly snitched, it did the same, if not more numbers than the last album. Although I was never the biggest fan personally. I prefer his older music than his newer music. But we're not going to pretend like this man isn't bigger than he once was. You can see his fan base isn't complaining at all, even with the circumstances of him not having the same producers as he once did, especially with the Get Ready With Me ass music he making nowadays. But clearly it's working out for him. When meanwhile, fans are literally questioning Young Thug's career currently, saying if he's washed or not. But that's neither here nor there regarding this topic.
Yo, it's hump day.
Sorry. But this is like a little intermission because at the point of the video, I forgot which point, but I'll put it in here. Me recording myself currently. It is currently July 7th by the time of this recording. That's how you know this is not my normal format of videos. First off, I'm holding a microphone. Second of all, I'm rocking headphones. But I needed to get this out the way real quick. So I just randomly ran into a Say Cheese post of Young Thug. Yes, Young Thug, the same person I said people are debating if he's washed or not currently, although he realistically only dropped one song, which we'll cover in a bit. He has said the following: if you are a rapper and you a rat, you just gotta go gospel, twin. My nigga, you are 30. Actually, he's 33. So that makes this argument even worse. Mind you, I recorded this video last month, not the one right here, obviously, but the one that you're watching by the time I upload this. I recorded this in June. It's July, and he said that bullshit. And mind you, all he has done is drop one single and perform at Summer Smash, teasing a song with Ken Carson, which is hard, by the way. And also co-signing Non-Vicious. But again, he's not co-signing Snitching, because when Kid Cudi did it, he called him a rat. A fucking civilian. And now he's talking about, oh, you need to go gospel, twin. My fault for the stutter. No script. He's 33. And haven't dropped anything. But yeah, that's my end of the Family Guy cutaway like shit. Back to the video that you're watching, and let me go back to working on this project that I teased earlier. Another person I thought about regarding this topic is Boston Richey. Now, I can't stand Boston Richey personally. It's not like his music is bad or anything. I just hate the way he panders the woman while literally being an EDP, dating a woman that's way younger than him. That's another example of the rap space trying to shun somebody down due to snitching. But since the music is good enough to his audience, which are predominantly women nowadays, it used to be both since he was signed a future label and he got that push. But since we all know they caught this man in 4K doing the business and 1090 Bobby Hill existence, basically the rap space was going to shun down Boston Richey. And it looked like it was going to work at one point. Until his song Help Me did crazy numbers to the point it was his first ever top 100 song. And even afterwards, recently getting off tour with Glorilla, one of the biggest female rappers, not even female, one of the biggest rappers currently, until he got arrested. But the point still remains whether he's arrested or not. Although we barely see him on features on his albums or do features due to the obvious reasons, the general consensus are still listening to this man because his song is still getting pushed despite him being labeled a snitch. And do I even need to bring up 6ix9ine at this point? Yeah, I know we don't hear from bro anymore because he kept dissing the dead while having security 24/7, leading up to him in the Spanish market, and it seems like he's doing okay over there. Because as much as the rap industry tried to shun this man down when he first got out, he's literally the only person to have 1 million live watchers on Instagram. Not Twitch, not YouTube, Instagram. and also having a #1 song in the process, whether it was botted or not. But people were still tuning in to whatever 6ix9ine does. Yeah, it could be because of during the pandemic we had nothing else better to do, but still, he was still running the rap game post being a snitch, and literally was repping that shit too, like he meant it. And even before the snitching allegations, during his peak having EDP allegations at all, he was literally one of the biggest rappers due to his music. Although we all knew it was ass, he even admitted it was ass, but it sounded good, which led up to us not batting an eye too much. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't really care that much. And plus him being funny on social media, that played a part as well. And 6ix9ine could have kept it up. He honestly could have kept it up, but the dissing the dead while having security, and on top of that, making trash music realistically, that's 3 strikes and you out, pal. But off the topic of 6ix9ine, I bring all of this up to say, the rep you have in the music industry, wherever you the realest person in the streets, putting in the heart in the paint, or snitching for a Arby's in a meat mountain, or HUD juice, whatever Jace did, at the end of the day, the shit does not matter. As much as rappers want to say they don't fuck with rats, that shit doesn't matter. Just the music aspect, and as long as your fans is happy. But as we see with Bobby Shmurda, clearly that was not the case, because not only he waited too long to capitalize off the momentum he was having again, he didn't lead up to the fans' expectations, he didn't drop an album, and on top of that, he was dropping trash music. Now that leads his career with only 2.5 rap songs in the space that are considered legendary, and nothing more compared to everybody else I just named. But that's my little rant regarding this topic of snitching or being real, quote unquote. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Did you agree, disagree? Let me know. But make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow the socials. This is NG's, and take care.